Welcome back. A Puzzle here, bring you another X and Y Wi-Fi battle. Today I've got a Wi-Fi battle against another person from a forum I go to, and this one is against, as you can see, a steel monotype team. It's kind of fun. I love playing monotype. Uh, well, I did last gen. I haven't done it yet this gen, and it's kind of nice to see a steel monotype team in particular because it got nerfed. And I'm still using the same team as I had last game, so let's get into the battle now, shall we? From what you could see on, let's get into that later. I send an X drill, he sends in his own X drill, and this was a terrible play on my part. It was, since I asked him after the battle what his X drill spread was, and it turns out it was the same one as mine, so that speed tie could have really, had he stayed in, a speed tie really could have made things bad, because Excadrill plays a huge part in this battle for me. But luckily, he switches out into his own Skarmory. From what I heard about this team beforehand, I had known that it was going to be a phasing team, and it was also pretty apparent from the matchup screen because he had a Skarmory and a Heatran, which are common phasers. Right now he's not even setting up his hazards yet. He's just whirlwinding me out, and if that will wear down his power points for whirlwind, so be it. I switch back into Ferrothorn, and then he finally sets up his hazards. I think he only gets up Stealth Rocks this game. I'm not sure if he had spikes on it or not. My main priority, instead of going with the hazards right now, is going to be paralyzing whatever comes in, be it Skarmory, because I was thinking at the time that Skarmory would probably be trying to phase Ferrothorn. Luckily he brought in his own Heatran, and I got that one. He was probably expecting me to switch, which makes the most sense, but I stayed in. So he switches out into his own Excadrill, probably thinking I'd go into Rotom, probably, actually. But I set up my hazards. And he doesn't want to stay in on Ferrothorn, probably thinking it won't do very much. And I don't see any reason to switch out. So I just use Leech Seed on Skarmory when it comes in, which is pretty nice. Wearing down the Skarmory is always nice. Get some health back. And my Ferrothorn won't be doing much to it. Oh yeah, Thunder Wave, of course. Since Skarmory can't do much to Ferrothorn, and Ferrothorn can't do much to Skarmory. And he just phases me out. Good play. He brings me into my X-Drill, and here's where I make a pretty good play for the match. Here's where one of the biggest plays, in my opinion, comes in. I'm predicting him to switch out his Skarmory because his Skarmory probably doesn't want to stay in on Excadrill. So I go straight for the Swords Dance, and he switches out, and guess what he brings in? He brings in his Aegislash. I go for the Swords Dance, and that will enable, even if it's in shield form, Excadrill has got pretty good attack, even as Jolly, so the Earthquake will be able to one-shot it. Sorry about the camera there. So that's one down. Good job, Excadrill. And he brings in Jirachi, probably trying to Serene Grace hacks me with that Ice Punch. But it doesn't do it, thankfully. And Earthquake will easily one-shot Jirachi, despite its pretty good bulk. I'm glad I was able to get that thing out of the way early, because Jirachi was really annoying last gen, and this is the first time I've seen Jirachi this gen. But I'm sure it's still going to be a pretty annoying Pokemon in the metagame. And here's where I make a bad play, really bad play. I go for the Rock Slide trying to get off a bunch of damage on this Heatran, because it had the Air Balloon, so I couldn't go for the Earthquake. And he one-shots me with Earth Power. I think I was hoping for a Parahacks there. but I should have either switched out, or I should have gone for the rapid spin, because those stealth rocks are going to be pretty annoying, even if he's not going to be phasing me too much for the rest of the battle, since his main phasers are crippled, and one is now fainted. So I go out into Rotom. Rotom does a nice job of revenge killing, and in comes Excadrill. That Excadrill is going to be a huge problem in this game. It's probably going to be the most annoying thing on his team. And this is a phasing team. So not wanting to get Rotom to get annihilated by that Excadrill, I bring in Ferrothorn. And as I've shown in my previous battle, +4 Excadrill can one-shot a Ferrothorn, but he's probably not trying to. He's probably trying to keep the Excadrill safe right now. So he switches out and brings in his Mawile, and it's obviously going to be Mega, because who uses a regular Mawile in a high tier play? And I just Leech Seed whatever comes in. I wasn't really necessarily thinking he would switch, but I didn't want to switch out anything into the Excadrill is the main problem. That Leech Seed damage is gonna be very nice for the for this 1 versus 1 matchup between Mawile and Ferrothorn, and you'll see why. So he goes into the Mega Form, and I think he's over-predicting here, because he goes for the Sword Stance, probably expecting me to switch out. And I want to cripple that thing fast, because Mega Mawile is such a threat. That could have Mega Mawile probably could have swept the rest of my team had Ferrothorn not been here. But Ferrothorn will do a nice job of keeping it in check. Not wanting to switch out, because it could annihilate most things, I just go for the Power Whip. And he's being greedy and going for a Swords Dance again. Not too worried right here, because the Leech Seed damage is racking up. And here is where it's pretty good. He got Parahaxed, thankfully. That Sucker Punch would have hurt. So the Power Whip and the Leech Seed damage is bringing pretty far down. And finally he gets the Sucker Punch off, but it does not do enough to kill. Great job, Ferrothorn. And Power Whip misses, but that was probably for the best, actually, because the Leech Seed will still KO. So, nice job. Mega Mawile down, which is pretty great. And Ferrothorn's still alive, thankfully. I'm surprised he took a +4 Sucker Punch from a Mega Mawile. And he goes into Excadrill, of course not wanting to switch. I don't want to switch anything into the Excadrill, and Ferrothorn's done enough. So I just fodder him off right here. Great job this match, Ferrothorn. I believe the score is now, what, 2 to 5? No, 2 to 4. And he goes for the Shadow Claw when I bring in Jelly Scent. I've never seen Shadow Claw on an Excadrill. And that Scald does an underwhelming amount, and it doesn't get the burn, which is disappointing as well. After the battle, I asked him the specifics of his Excadrill, and it turns out his Excadrill is a Jolly Assault Vest set, and I've never seen an Assault Vest set on an Excadrill. Sounds pretty interesting. And that explains why it lived the Scald with so well from a Jelly Scent. And I bring in Gardevoir. I didn't know he was Assault Vest at the time, but I just wanted to get damage off on it with my Scarf Gardevoir. And the best move I could use against it is the Shadow Ball, because my set is Thunderbolt, Moonblast, Psyshock, and Shadow Ball. He brings in his Skarmory because he's fearing the Gardevoir. And despite the paralysis, well, Skarmory is going to be an annoyance. It doesn't get Parahax, and it roosts. That leftovers was good enough to keep him up from being KO'd right there. And I just go for a Shadow Ball again because I was thinking he'd probably want to phase me out. But he just goes for Roost again. And I figured this is probably going to be kind of a pointless struggle until he gets Parahaxed again. So I'm just going to switch out Gardevoir and go into Rotom. The one thing he can't do to other than Whirlwind out. And I thought it would be safe switch because I was sure he'd Roost again, which he did. So yeah, good play, but unfortunately he gets his Sturdy. He gets back up to his Sturdy. But that doesn't matter much. In case you wanted to go out to Excadrill here, I went straight for the Overheat. Overheat will obviously bring down Skarmory to Sturdy. And here's where Skarmory got Parahax, which is pretty nice. I don't know, he probably would have wanted to phase me out right there. And it had that phased, then I don't really know how the match would have gone then. And he gets lefties, but that doesn't matter because Rotom Heat, that's why. So Skarmory goes down. His last Pokemon is Excadrill, and I have nothing I want. None of my 3 Pokemon left are good switch-ins on that Excadrill, especially knowing he has Shadow Claw. And here's where I just have to let Rotom die. Rotom did good, and he's not going to do anything to the Excadrill. Score now is 2-1. Here's where it gets a little worrisome. Since he's Assault Vest, and I hadn't known that at the time, this Gardevoir is not going to be able to KO it. And I was shocked. And there's a Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball does not do enough to KO. The pointless special defense drop gets there too. And Shadow Claw will easily take out the Gardevoir. That sucks. 1-1. My last Pokemon now is Pinsir. And Pinsir's got to really pull through here. I go right for Mega Evolution, of course. And he's most likely going to be faster than anything I do. So I'm just going to go for the Quick Attack, and I'm praying that it's going to be enough to take out Excadrill. And luckily, it is enough to take out the Excadrill. That is a close 1-0 match. And it was pretty close. My opponent didn't think it was a very good match on his part, but I disagreed. He played pretty well. It was a close, very close victory for me. So, that's the end of the match. A+ will signing out. See you guys next time.